lot of different groups, you know, that have different interests that don't all come together to create community for the entire college. So when we put on an Earth Day event, we had the art department create these billboards out of recycled stuff and leftover paint. And the art students were so thrilled to get to participate in something. I mean, they were like, God, you know, we know that there's a performing arts club and they never ask us to do anything. And it was for these three really amazing artists, it was their first time collaborating, and that was like such a new experience for them. And we had the performing arts club, and you know, it brings everybody's attention to that, and it creates community, and it creates an energy for there to be more like people feeling like they want to participate in something.
I think you touched on something that's something that should be considered, because when you're taking on a new task, everybody's like, oh, we have to change. And people don't want to change, and usually some things are not fun. But definitely something like that makes it fun, makes it interesting. I know some of the things when we had a lot of activities on our campus, we came up from Scott Ideas also with a lot of other interesting themes. We have, I think, recycle ball, when we were throwing, you know, a 2-liter bottles into recycled bins, and we give them a prize, you know, possibly a recyclable water canteen and stuff like that. But definitely, you could, yeah, come up with really creative ideas to make it fun. And I can tell you, for all of you that are going into student government, Rome wasn't built in a day, so it's going to take time for these things to change. Change takes time, but incremental changes like the ones you just spoke to, that you can, you have students getting involved, but you could also get everybody else involved, administration, faculty, and staff to be big supporters of that. And together you guys can bring about change. And many times in student government, as you guys may find out or will find out, it's about planting the seeds and make sure that it continues developing.
I want to talk about something we did. We were getting some negative feedback about some of the renewable energy programs, and we took our concern to the broader community, to things like the Green Expo at the Huntington Beach Public Library. In essence, we created a statement of support that we asked people in the community to sign, and we gathered 1,000 signatures. We took it to the board of trustees of the district of the 3 colleges that we are a part of, and blew the board of trustees away. And the trickle down from that was doors opened on the campus that we didn't anticipate, and where we were previously getting a lot of resistance. In some cases rejection, but resistance is probably more accurate. And the message, I think, is demonstrate that the concerns for sustainability, environmental literacy, are parts that the broader community is really concerned about. And the people who are elected to govern the institutions by a vote of the community need to be aware that those concerns are valid and should be addressed as a part of the curriculum and the programs on the campuses. But because no one had approached the board with 1,000 signatures before, out of the blue, or out of the green, if you care to do it that way. And it was impactful.
And something we can capitalize on right now is that green is trendy now. So especially down, Sonoma County is a little different in a way. We've got, people brewing kombucha in their, in their backyards and things like that. It's not uncommon, but down here, everything is all about what you own, how much money you have, and the branding, which is really unfortunate. And I'm not saying that that's a general blanket statement, because that's not true for everyone in this area, obviously. But now that green has kind of become quote unquote trendy, and it's cool to have a SIG bottle or this or that or the other thing, start capitalizing on that. While it's still, it's kind of quote unquote greenwashing, But you start somewhere. Again, it's starting somewhere. And then maybe if you give away the recyclable bottles, put a little piece of paper inside saying, okay, by using this recycled bottle, this is what you're doing for the earth. Or say, because you have this recycled bottle, we were able to provide 10 bottles of water to kids in Kenya, or something like that. Add something on it beyond just the product. Add a little tidbit in there saying, okay, well, this is what this is really doing. So that they're learning at the same time as being trendy and buying into the branding and things like that.
You bring up a good suggestion. I think that one of the most impactful ways that I come across in the campus and one of the clubs to get the word around, like to attract people, is word of mouth. Like just by using it, here, this water bottle, I can tell my friend, hey, why don't you buy a bottle, one of these metal bottles instead of, plastic bottles. I could encourage them, and little by little, or I could just probably give her one. Maybe if I find one on sale, I could just give her one, and then just, explain to her why this is useful. That's a good idea.
I think now we should move on to talking about events and how to get the most education out, and one of the ways is through festivals and workshops holding on community college campuses, making sustainability fun, whether that means having a concert or having nonprofits come and give out little things, or having local restaurants who get their food from local farmers to come out and serve food on campus. So one event is the waterless car wash, which
I'm going to pass this around just so you, it's pretty self-explanatory. Read the bottle.
And then another event that connects with the high school students is a green team convention, where all just like us, all different high schools have little eco clubs, green clubs that they're forming, and they're all coming across the same issues like we're coming across: leadership issues, organizational skills, how to go out into the community and ask for sponsorship, or how to write a proposal and bring it up to your supervisor, your vice principal. So what Students for Sustainable Communities did is that we connected with about 8 high schools in our area, and we formed a little convention where we had about 35 students come, and we had 2 co-teachers, one from the Alliance for Climate Education and one from the Climate Protection Campaign, and they helped co-teach with us a small training. And then the students brought a project that they had been working on for the whole school year, where one school brought how they changed their recycling program around, and so they shared their difficulties and their successes with other students. And then another school brought how they had a bike to school day, where even students living like 30 minutes away from school bike to school that day, and how they had little rest stops for the students. And so they brought their ideas and their projects, and then they started asking questions to each other, and how are you getting around this? So that could be an event that all community colleges could share, where we could connect with the high schools around us, form like a spider webbing kind of connection, where we go out there, outreach, and have a yearly or convention for high school students.
We still haven't done anything like that at our school, but what we do have is like kind of a high school day or club rush day, where all the clubs on campus set up in the quad, and then they invite all the local high schools to come and check out all the clubs that are on campus and motivate them to go to our school, pretty much. And one of the few things that I've learned that really attracts high school students is simple things. The year before this year, I had a little construction hat to show green collar jobs, right? But it had like a little spin wheel on top that was solar powered by the helmet. There was a little solar panel on top, and then they would just walk by and see that this thing was spinning, and they're like, oh.